Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, April 5. Crime, national security, and public safety topped discussions between the government and the parliamentary opposition at the first meeting of the reconvened Vale Royal Talks yesterday. The discussions at the University of the West Indies Regional Office also centered on voter re-verification and parliamentary procedures and committees. Prime Minister Andrew Holness and Opposition Leader Dr. Peter Phillips found common ground on several important issues of national development and pledged to continue discussions to reach unified conclusions on the way forward. It was specifically agreed that several draft policies and bills would be shared for future discussions. Both sides agreed that the Electoral Commission of Jamaica would provide a plan within a month on how to ensure the maintenance of clean voters' lists. There was also a decision to consider the inclusion of private sector, church, and civil society groups periodically to participate in the dialogue on crime, violence, and public order. Both leaders spoke of the importance of ensuring that the positive framework established through the Vale Royal Talks is preserved and encouraged. A new report has found that schools are performing more effectively in key areas of assessment. The report was done by the National Education Inspectorate, NEI, and reveals the findings of inspections done in 189 primary and secondary schools last year. It shows improvements across all 8 indicators, including leadership and management, teaching, students' progress and performance, and curriculum and enhancement programs. Improvements were also seen in students' personal and social development, use of human and material resources, and student safety, security, health, and well-being. Education Minister Senator Ruel Reid says the ministry is very encouraged by the improvements.
We will continue to take on the recommendations made by the NEI. They are our worthy partner. We want to thank the divisions, our boards, our principals, who will work to correct breaches and implement recommendations.
Senator Reid says more work will be done with the institutions that are in need of immediate support to ensure that their standings can be improved. The NEI is the National Education Quality Assurance Agency and operates independently of the Ministry of Education. Meanwhile, the Education Ministry is working to provide greater access to education and training for youth in the Zones of Special Operations, ZOSOs, and other inner-city communities. The Portfolio Minister made the announcement while touring the ZOSO community of Denham Town yesterday. He revealed that training would be provided through the Trenchtown Polytechnic College, Heart Trust NTA, and the Caribbean Maritime University.
We're going to take some training to them, and those we can take and place elsewhere we'll take, right? So this, I think, is the beginning of a whole transformation of our inner city communities, and we want to replicate this right across the country.
One of the youth already tapped to benefit from this initiative is Travis Morrison, a 23-year-old Denham Town resident and former head boy of the Vauxhall High School.
We've been here for a while. We haven't seen or heard from the ministry. We do appreciate them being here today, showing their face, being among the people. We do appreciate the intervention with the training programs that they have just stated that will be here. And we definitely, in the long run, is looking out to see exactly what is in store.
The minister says he has a schedule to tour all the ZOSO communities and those within the state of emergency. The Housing Agency of Jamaica is going door to door in 16 communities, offering residents payment plans to clear up any monetary obstacles to receiving their titles. HAJ's Senior Manager for Community Development, Nakia McMorris, says it's part of a broader push to release the over 8,000 titles in the agency's vault.
And so we're being strategic in this approach now to go into communities, build better relationships with the households so that we can assist them to deliver their titles. Some persons have already started to pay. There are some that haven't started to pay at all, and so we want to work with them during that process. We are starting off, we're giving them up to 6 months to pay. Of course, there's flexibility to that sometimes.
Ms. McMorris and a team from the Housing Agency were in the Norwood community recently. Over the next 2 months, the initiative is also targeting residents of Pitford Phase 3, Meadows Vale, Retirement, and Lilliput in Montego Bay. White House and Whitehall in Negril, as well as Boscobel, Brownfield section in St. Anne, are also targeted.
The truth is that if you're living on the land, it's not yours. So let's say 20 years from now, a year from now, someone could come in, purchase it from the agency or purchase it from the government of Jamaica, and there's no reason why we couldn't take you off the lot. That is not what the agency wants to happen. We want to make sure that persons are regularized. So we want to make sure that you have your title, especially considering that they're sitting at HAJ waiting for your names to be transferred.
Agriculture Minister Audley Shaw is calling for an extensive audit of the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA's programs and extension services. The newly appointed minister says he wants the programs and services renewed and revived, with extension officers aiding more small farmers.
Every extension officer that is hearing the voice of the new minister, I want you in the field working with our small farmers across this country.
The minister was speaking at the launch of Farmers Month on Wednesday at the Jamaica Agricultural Society. The month is being celebrated under the theme, Grow What We Eat, Eat What We Grow. And finally, the Electoral Office of Jamaica is finalizing plans for the 2 local government by-elections scheduled for later this month. Residents of the Maypen North Division in Clarendon and Yalas in St. Thomas will go to the polls on Friday, April 27, to elect their new parish council representatives. Nomination day is next Tuesday, April 10. The by-election in the Maypen North Division became necessary following the death of Jamaica Labour Party representative Melvin Jones. Meanwhile, in the Yalas Division, the seat became vacant following a ruling in the Supreme Court that Dean Jones, the JLP councillor for the division, was not eligible to sit in the St. Thomas Municipal Corporation. On April 27, polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. There are 8,287 registered voters in the Maypen North Central Clarendon Division, while 9,145 residents are registered to vote in the Yalas Division. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.